Is Alek Minassian a hero or a zero? An incel posed this question to his fellow community members on incels.me, and as we can see, after 49 votes, it is 34 votes, yes, he was a hero, and 15 votes for no, he was a zero. Now, I would like to establish for people that are new to the incel subculture that although 70% of people did vote yes, he's a hero, I very much doubt that any of these people would do what Alek did. I think that this is a community of very edgy people that like to have controversial opinions, and although their views are extreme, I would argue that the percentage of incels that would do something like Alek Minassian did is very similar to the percentage of regular people in society that would do what he did. This takes a psychopath, and although I feel like a lot of people on incels.me are extremely disturbed, I don't think they're all psychopaths. So this is a rare thing. There are a lot of opinions in this thread, so we're going to take a look at some of the comments here and see what the incels really think about Alek Minassian potentially being a hero of the incels. I would encourage you to stick around to the end of this video to make sure that you really take in the spectrum of incel opinions. There's a lot of people at the beginning claiming that he's a hero, and there's a lot more people at the end calling him a zero for various reasons, so stick around. Here's the comment by the original poster. What's your opinion on what he did? I'm not sure how to feel about it, but it looks like he's giving incels a bad name. Soon normies will treat all virgin males like dangerous pariahs. He's got the incels more mainstream compared to Elliot Rodger, though. He killed an Arab cell. He had a higher kill count than Elliot Rodger, but Elliot Rodger had more charisma and better overall identity. That gigantic manifesto and rant in his car. Fucking beautiful, LOL. Best thing to happen in a while, this guy says. He was a decent-looking mental cell. Mental cell is somebody that suffers from such serious mental illness or developmental disabilities or just social ineptitude that they cannot get with somebody even though they might be attractive. Like Elliot Rodger, he makes us look like psychos when most of us are NT and ugly. NT means neurotypical. It's just that mental cells are more likely to pull this shit as opposed to face cells. Yep, he can only be a hero, not the hero. So he's saying that Elliot Rodger is the true patron saint of incels and nobody will replace him. This guy says a hero for every zero. Just another mentally unstable killer who happened to be an incel. While I do not condone killing or rape, I would be a lot more proud of a methodical incel serial killer who carefully picked his victims and possibly raped them before death. Like all of his victims were confirmed hypersluts who directly contribute to the problem. Then again, maybe all of those high IQ incel killers are smart enough not to get caught, so we never hear of them. He triggered a lot of Normans, but absolutely cannot hold a candle to Elliot Rodger. Hero. Some incels are worried about what normies think about incels and how they'll mischaracterize us all as being psychopathic killers who can't get a girl because they detect our murderous intent like it's some fucking anime. But newsflash, it doesn't make a lick of difference what we do. If we didn't have heroes like Minassian, 95% of people hearing about us through the media wouldn't have heard about us at all. They wouldn't care. We would just be a non-issue to the point that would be belittled and mocked all the same. Just look at Our Forever Alone and how they were treated like normies before May 2014, and see how it didn't fucking matter that ER hadn't ER'd yet. They still shit on us. They shit on us for nothing. We hadn't done anything yet and they wanted us dead. So pick your fucking poison. Either way, don't worship our heroes and we're hated and despised on a lesser level. Or we don't let ourselves be cucked and instead praise our heroes and we're hated and reviled on a widespread level that at least brings attention to our suffering. What normies hate the most is the fact that we're bringing attention to ourselves. They don't care about whether or not we're worshiping killers. That's just their faux justification to seem righteous. They want us dead for daring to be lonely virgin men. That is so incorrect. So stop caring what normies think about us when we praise ER and AM. It doesn't make a fucking difference. If we stopped doing that, they would still attack us just as viciously for being misogynistic, even if we don't say anything misogynistic. It's all a ruse. It's all smoke and mirrors. All concern is them virtue signaling. They don't fucking care. They just want us dead. What a silly opinion. I really didn't want to insert my opinion until we finished reading through this thread, but this thread is very long, and I do want to address this comment. It's so ridiculous to think that if it was just incels complaining about being virgins, that people would want them dead. Nobody gives a shit about people being virgins. Nobody cares. People are just not looking at you. They're just ignoring you at worst. If you're just a lonely virgin in your room alone, posting on some website complaining about being a virgin, nobody would give a shit. It's when you condone things like rape. Like, yeah, sure, worshipping some serial killer, some spree killer, yeah, people will give you hate for that. But when you condone shit like rape, people are gonna fucking hate you. People are just gonna fucking hate you. Because guess what? People fucking hate rape because it's pretty much the worst thing you could do to another fucking human being. Like, I'd argue that killing somebody is like, there's a reason that you could justify killing somebody. There's no reason you could justify raping somebody. So it's fucking just stop thinking that people want to kill virgins just because they're virgins. That's the silliest idea of all time. You're ridiculous. This guy will call it a ruse, he'll call it smoke and mirrors, but sir, I'm legitimately concerned for you. And it's not because you worship Elliot Rodger or Alek Minassian, it's because of your mental deficiency thinking that people hate virgins just for being virgins. That's so stupid, so dumb. Dear Saint Minassian, I am imprisoned by walls of selfishness, prejudice, suspicion. I'm enslaved by human respect and the fear of other people's opinions of me. Saint Anthony, liberator of prisoners, tear down my prison walls. Break the chains that hold me captive. Make me free with the freedom Christ has won me. This guy says leaning 0. Killed randoms and good enough facial bones not to be an incel. Elliot Rodger had pretty decent looks and he also killed randoms too, even less. Yet he's considered a hero here instead? Why is Alek Minassian a 0 then? This guy responds to Elliot Rodger being a hero and Alek not being a hero by saying, yeah, that's because more than half of the people on here have a chimp tier IQ. This guy says, Elliot is remembered more for his videos, manifesto, and the outrage that occurred afterward. I think everyone that has read about his killings knows that he failed hard. He did. He intended to kill a bunch of sorority girls, and he ended up just killing anyone he could get his hands on, and including his 2 roommates and their friend that were all basically incel. This guy's saying, all what he needed to do to ascend was to grow his hair, shave his unibrow, and get a chiseled face. Minassian was the embodiment of what a mental cell is. Another autist stealing our name and getting out to kill people. People are relating him with us even if he got radicalized in R9K. That is more of a loser central than an actual black-pilled incel hub. He was not ugly, so I can't support his actions. Yeah, that is important to note. Alek Minassian never posted on Incels.me to anybody's knowledge, and R9K is a board on 4chan called Robot 9000, and it actually started out as just a board with an AI that would filter out all reposts, so it would always be fresh content, and then eventually over time it somehow turned into like a Forever Alone hub. But Forever Alone is different than Incel. I don't believe he was really an incel at all. I think it was all a ploy to throw the police off of his tracks. Some random post on the internet doesn't make one an incel. How would that throw the police off his tracks? That doesn't make any sense to me. Hero. Any sub-8 male who takes out Femoid, Normie, and Chad scum is worthy of worship in my books. Not trying to sound like another zealot, but what was his account name? This guy is responding to the fact that he killed an Arab cell by saying that was a mercy kill. This gentleman down here says that he didn't have an account here on Incels.me. This guy says, where's the shit he posted? He sacrificed himself to blackpill the world. Pretty sure he was intellectually stunted. That's the only way I can rationalize how retarded that Facebook post he made was. Autism is often linked to retardation, so lines up. Honestly, I look up to all serial killers. Heck, Freddy Krueger was my hero growing up. Just saying. He was a hero because he murdered. Can anyone agree with me that the FBI is watching this? He made one post on Facebook briefly mentioning 4chan and incels. That's it. Yeah, that's the post that we all know and love. Exactly. There's no proof he ever posted on any incel community. The way the post was written sounds fake or staged or written by an autistic person. I could go rage quit and write a note praising cuck tears before doing so, but that doesn't mean I had anything to do with the group. Cuck tears is a reference to Incel tears, which is a subreddit that makes fun of incels, and I actually am not the hugest fan of Incel tears. I used to take posts from there, but then I found that Incel tears would kind of just like shit on literally anything incels did, and also fabricate things to make incels look even worse than they are. Which I think is like the dumbest shit that you can do. There are plenty of incel opinions to disagree with. You don't need to make shit up. That's so silly. No shit, Sherlock. Thanks to Alek, incels are considered dangerous right now. I myself don't ever encourage killing rampages, and I generally find them sad, but all normies saying, LMAO, you can't get laid, what a stupid reason to go on a rampage, they will never process our pain. The pain of never having anyone love you, the pain of being lost and alone, the feeling that 95% of men out there have been on dates or kissed a girl while you rot in your room. It sucks so fucking much. No, I don't endorse rampages, but I can see why they happen. Not every man is as mentally strong as I am, so it makes perfect sense that some men just can't tolerate the pain and have to lash out at the world. 0. This is not going to make people respect incels. This is not going to change the system by which those who lost the genetic lottery get fucked over and over. At best, a tiny amount of normies might join this site. At worst, ugly cells are treated even worse than they were before, and the FBI tries to arrest them or shut us down. It's better to stay under the radar. This guy's saying 1 Cho, 2 ER, 3 AM. So that's a Sung-hee Cho, the guy that shot up Virginia Tech. He's saying that he's the number one saint of incels, then Elliot Rodger, then Alek Minassian. Cho, the true cell and our one true savior. Beta uprising has begun. Cho has the best stats but the worst manifesto. Last comment on this post as of right now. 0. Spree killing is retarded. So we are back at the top of the page, and it seems like there are a couple more votes for 0 now as opposed to the hero. I got a general consensus from the people in the comments, not a consensus, but a general trend of people thinking that he was more of a hero than a 0, but then a lot of people questioning if he was incel at all, and if he was incel, he was definitely a mental cell as opposed to somebody who's just really ugly and can't get people for that reason. I want to know what you guys think about this. I hope you stuck around to the end to see all of the incel opinions. I think it's really important to read through every single comment on a post like this to really figure out what the spectrum of incel opinions is, because I want the fucking truth, you know, and that's where trolls kind of come in and make it annoying, because a lot of these people might be trolling and not giving their actual opinion, but we're reading all of the comments in order to get as much of a full picture of the general incel opinions as we can. So I hope you liked this, and there will definitely be more of this in the future. Skate on, rollerbladers, and stay safe out there.